I recall watching the news after VT happened last April. I think VT happens every night. Between the rambles of gun control, an NRA member looked into the camera as if he was trying to talk to kids like me. I'm paraphrasing. If you are a student and feel alone, threatened, frightened, or inferior, lashing out at the world with fatal violence like this is not the answer. I don't want to kill them because I'm lonely. They just need a wake-up call. Most classes, I sit alone. No one speaks to me. Last week, a girl who gets plenty of fuck. Ah! I need a sip. Yes, Al, shut up. Last week, a girl who gets plenty of attention for her looks was venting to the teacher about how she didn't fit in, mentioning how she only knew her boyfriend and that's it. Isn't that great irony? I'm light years from getting anything close to a girlfriend. She sees no one talks to me, yet vents right in front of me about how little she has socially. I'm not jealous, just sick of the ignorance she and many others exhibit. Their cozy little world. I want to destroy it. I want to destroy it and look them in the eye while I do it. I want them to remember me. Jesus Christ. I feel like this sometimes. Not that I want to destroy people, but that like from my own perspective, right? Like as a streamer, I get lots of attention, right? I think the whole deeper. No, I'm saying like I don't feel like from the perspective of this. I mean, I used to when I was younger, when I was in school, and it felt like the people around me complained when like I had it from my perspective, like objectively worse or whatever. So it was so annoying. Right? It was so annoying to hear, like, just genuinely, like, pretty and popular girls complain about how people don't like their interests, or they're so quirky, they're so, like, weird, or people think that they're weird because they're into, like, this thing that is, like, realistically, like, socially acceptable, or whatever the fuck. And I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you have so many friends, the teachers like you get good grades, your parents have a fucking 2-story house in the middle of fucking town, and they drive new cars and shit. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't know how bad things are. But then it's like, eventually you grow up and you realize, like, the same can be said about you from somebody else's perspective, you know? Like, we all have shit that sucks for us, and it might not suck as bad as somebody else's situation or whatever, or maybe we complain about problems that are petty and it's selfish because there are people with the same problems that are not petty, right? That it's like, it's actually whatever. So then now, as a streamer, sometimes it's like, I complain about something, and then later I think, like, why did I complain about that? Or why did I talk about that? Or why did I present that as, like, a bad thing when I guarantee somebody in chat has had it infinitely worse? And it's like, I don't know, when I read comments where people call me out on that, I guess I understand where it's coming from. You know what I mean? Like, I can empathize with that. I'm not gonna reply to the comment or whatever. I'm not gonna stop complaining about things that bother me, or I'm not gonna stop, like, saying that something that happened to me was bad just because it could have been worse. Then I shouldn't think that it's bad because it could have been worse. It could have been as bad as whatever somebody else went through. But I still try to be, like, conscious of that kind of stuff. Does that make sense? Even though there's only so much you can do without getting stuck in a loop with it, you know? Yeah, just because something is not that bad doesn't mean it won't bother you. But another thing I try to be careful of is sometimes, like, I talk about something that, like I know, like, it was bad by, like, common perception. You know, like, the common perspective would be, like, people didn't go through this. So, like, more people will understand when I complain about it, if that makes sense. More people will perceive it as bad when I complain about it because they don't have a worse experience than me. So if I complain about it, like, how do I explain this? Right, like, when I talk about, like, living in bad neighborhoods and having drug addicts show up on my porch and break into my house and shit, right? A lot of people have never had that happen before. So when I talk about something like that, I can be kind of confident that it's bad, or confident that I'm allowed to feel bad about it. And I feel justified I feel more, like, validated or whatever when I see chat saying, oh my god, like, that's so bad. And it's like this weird sense of comfort. And I don't know how to, like, actually process that. Like, I feel like I shouldn't rely on that validation or anything. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of like feeding into, like, the whole trauma Olympics or oppression Olympics thing or whatever, you know? It's just something I think about sometimes, you know? I think about a lot of the little interactions we have that, like, normally I would never have any reason to bring them up, you know? Like, I'd never, like, literally in any other game, I think, I would never have a reason to bring this up. So I don't really talk about it, but this just reminded me of it. Just because other people's problems are worse doesn't mean, or doesn't make your problems any less valid. Yeah. But it also is, like, annoying, right? It is annoying when somebody with, like, a cushiony experience complains about how bad it is. Because, like, it's cushiony from your perspective, you know? And you just feel like if you had that, it wouldn't be as bad. You'd do better. You'd do better than they're doing. You wouldn't complain about what you have because you know what it's like to have less. But at the same time, what are you gonna do? Just never complain about something? I don't know. Always have self-awareness. I think self-awareness is important. I think that's one of my big fears as a content creator, is becoming jaded. Because I want to be jaded to the things that bother me. I want to be jaded to, like, overwhelming negativity, or to drama, or to petty emotions, or whatever. But if I do become jaded to those things, what stops me from taking the route that other people take when they become jaded? Or is it because they became jaded that they became like that? Or is it another factor that I just don't understand yet? Am I just assuming? What does jaded mean? Jaded means that you basically you become dull to something, right? So like either you're so overexposed to it. It's like when you eat the same thing over and over, you start to taste it less and less. But applied to like other things. Okay, you become numbed. You're desensitized. I don't know. I've seen so many content creators become jaded by stuff. And it feels like when they do, that's when they start to lose their self-awareness. And I'm not saying I'm like super self-aware and I understand everything that I do wrong and I'm able to reflect on all of my actions or whatever. But like I'm trying. And I do have that fear of, like, if you think I'm bad, then I have a fear of getting even worse, so to speak. You know what I mean? I don't know. I have that fear of if I don't, like, if negativity doesn't bother me, then can I trust myself to understand when I did something wrong? If I don't feel the pushback, what's the incentive to be a better person, right? Because you're not feeling those bad emotions. I like to think that I wouldn't need to feel negatively about it. Like I wouldn't need to feel the pushback to be self-aware and not get an overinflated ego or whatever the fuck. But at the same time, that's what so many people turn into. Who am I to say that I would do it any better? And from my perspective, it'd be better not to be like that. But I don't know.
Everybody, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Low Effort Clips. That's right, Low Effort Clips, right here on YouTube.com. Yeah, and hit the notification bell. Yeah.